Frisco versus Southlake. Frisco and Southlake are two luxury suburb cities of Dallas-Fort Worth, and I get this question so often, and so I wanted to create this video for you if you've been struggling with Frisco versus Southlake. Hi, my name is Dana Pollard, and I've lived in Texas since I was 4 years old. And I've been selling real estate. I'm a licensed real estate agent in Texas, and I've been selling for 12 years now. If you are looking to move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, fill out my dream home questionnaire below. I have fantastic team agents to help assist you that specialize in both cities. Really, we have specialists in all of Dallas-Fort Worth. And as a side note, I have been on a 30-day Texas tour so that I can help you narrow down where to live in the great state of Texas. And by doing that, what I'm going to do is also link down below to do a group Zoom call with me. And this is where you can ask all the questions that you have. There are a limited amount of spaces, so click on that link, get it reserved, and I'm gonna share, a little bit, best suburbs, best schools, some great things about Texas. Now let's chat about Southlake versus Frisco. In the first part of this video, I'm going to share the vibe of the different cities. Now listen, both cities are fantastic. There's no right or wrong decision of which city you choose, just which feels most comfortable for you, or what vibe are you going for. So the first section, I'm going to share the feel of these two cities, and then the second part of this video, I'm going to actually share numbers with you and statistics. So let's first start with Frisco, Texas. What is the vibe of Frisco? Well, Frisco, it is a growing, developing suburb of Dallas, and the vibe that you feel is it's new and shiny. If you love new things, if you like to drive in a development that is fully just shiny and new, Frisco is it. Frisco is a hotspot for a reason. I would say it's the #1 hotspot in the entire state of Texas, and it's only going to grow. There's still room to develop. Now, the population in Frisco right now, according to census.gov, is just over 200,000 people, which makes it a large suburb, and it's going to get bigger. One of my favorite places to hang out is the Star. I love people watching there. You have all types of people there, different demographics, different family status. So you'll have families that are hanging out, you're gonna have singles, you're gonna have different ethnic groups. Frisco is a little more diverse than Southlake in a very good way. And Frisco also has not only beautiful homes, but so single family homes, they have condos, apartments. There are many housing options in Frisco, whereas Southlake, you literally can only get a home there, or you could get a condo. There are 0 apartments in Southlake, Texas, and condos start 1 million plus. So in Southlake, you're going to see more families there than necessarily singles. I'm not saying there are no singles in Southlake. You're just gonna see more families than singles there. Frisco does have a healthy lifestyle, a healthy vibe. You're gonna see people running on the streets, working out. There are multiple fitness options. You have your health foods. So Frisco definitely has a healthy new vibe. There are many entertainment options. Frisco's very, very nice. It's in Collin County, which is the best, I think, in my opinion, the best county in the state of Texas is Collin County for its development. It's just beautiful. Now, with shiny and new, because we love Frisco for being shiny and new, but with shiny and new is going to come smaller lots. Yes, yes. Smaller home lots that homes sit on. So if you want a large backyard or more trees, Frisco doesn't have as many of the tall, beautiful trees that Southlake is going to have, because they bulldoze things over and they put in those master plans, subdivisions, and your lots are going to be smaller, usually like a 50 by 120 lot, 50 feet by 120. That's a good standard lot. But Frisco also, the garages, many times they put rear facing garages, which take up half of your backyard in addition to the lot already being small. You can get larger lots with a larger budget. If you're looking around $1 million or so, you can get like a third of an acre. But again, for the price point, your lot is much smaller in Frisco. If you want that area and that vibe and you want a larger lot, you may consider Prosper, Texas, which is just north of Frisco. 15 minutes to the entertainment options in Frisco. Anyway, that's a side note. Because this video is about Frisco and Southlake. So let's move on into Southlake and talk about the pros and cons of Southlake versus Frisco. If you're looking for a larger lot, you can get, there are many homes on 1 acre lots, a half an acre. So Southlake has more to offer when it comes to your lot size. Also, when we're talking about the topography of Southlake, there are many tall trees there, taller than many parts in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they are established neighborhoods. Beautiful homes in established neighborhoods with tall trees. You can find some gated communities. Frisco has some gated communities as well, but typically you're looking in the $800,000 plus for gated. Now let's talk about price just a little bit. In Southlake, it's very hard to find a home under $500,000, whereas Frisco, you can get a home for $250,000, okay? Now it's not going to be brand new. It's going to be, 1,600 square feet, built in the 90s, and I'm going to go more into housing here at the end of this video, but just to give you a frame of reference, okay? So Southlake, your entry level is $500,000. To get a nicer home, you're looking at $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. To get an updated home with painted white cabinets, then you're thinking probably at least $800,000, if not into the millions. Now, again, because Frisco is still new and developing, you can get a brand new home for $500,000, maybe $550,000 in Frisco, but in Southlake, you're going to have to spend $1.2 million to get a brand new home in Southlake, Texas. So let's talk about the Southlake vibe just a little bit more. Southlake vibe, it's a family vibe, I would say. And not saying that there are no singles there, but it's definitely a family community vibe. So Southlake, Texas, I've seen, different population stat, and they vary anywhere from like 28,000 to 35,000. So even at 35,000 for the population of Southlake, you can imagine it's a much smaller, more of a town-like community. But Southlake has all the city features of dining options. There's a plethora of amazing dining options in Southlake. You're gonna have shopping, you're gonna have the Nordstrom Rack, and most importantly, Southlake has the Southlake Town Square, where many people love to go hang out, and that's where you can meet your friends. Neighboring cities will come to hang out at the Southlake Town Square as well. But that's also where you can, many people have asked me this, can I just drop my teenage girls off and feel like they're safe? And I say yes, meaning I feel comfortable with my 16-year-old daughter being dropped off with her friend in Southlake. We have done that many times, and I'm not fearing for her safety. Should we be cautious everywhere? Absolutely. But Southlake is one of the places that I feel comfortable letting her walk around with her friends. Again, if you want the community vibe, Southlake Town Square hosts their annual Christmas events, Easter, 4th of July. There's so many events that are held in the Southlake Town Square, and to where it's a community feel. People love to get involved with the community. They love the politics of the community. And so Southlake has a more community hometown feel. Frisco definitely has a suburb feel. And yes, you can get community in Frisco, but you're gonna have to be much more intentional. So Southlake has like this hometown community. It's definitely an affluent area. People here as well like health, fitness, nutrition. You're going to see many joggers, and many workout facilities that you have available. Now, Southlake, you may read some comments online. Southlake does have some people who say that the people who live there are stuck up. For instance, many of the ladies like to take their trips to the med spa, and come on, they're in Frisco as well. So I would say it's because, I would beg to differ, because I have many friends that live in Southlake. We've been to their homes for dinner, all kinds of good stuff, right? I would say that Southlake is, I don't think they're stuck up. Are there stuck up people in every city? Of course there are. And they're of all income brackets. So I disagree with that. I think that what it is it just has a name and known to be affluent, and people may perceive whatever they perceive, right? So I love Southlake. I don't think it's a stuck-up community. Other people may say so. I want you to be aware of that if you're Googling. Frisco doesn't necessarily get the stuck-up vibe. But again, in Frisco, you have different price points. Just if we talk about housing, starting at $250 on up into the millions, Southlake only starts, you can get a home for $400,000, but those $400,000 homes are probably going to be bulldozed down. They're buying it for the lot to build a much bigger, newer, nicer home on the lot. So next, let's quickly chat about schools, because I know schools are a hot button for many people moving to Texas, and let's compare them just a little bit. First off, both schools are fantastic, both school districts, both Frisco as well as Carroll ISD, which is Southlake. And ISD stands for Independent School District. I get that question often as well. Both schools are fantastic, A+ ratings. Frisco is in the top 3% of school districts in the state of Texas, and Southlake is literally the #1 for test scores. They keep testing high every year, year after year, and there's a couple of reasons for that for both school districts. Both school districts have a reputation for their, I would say, the pressure of parental involvement, meaning both school districts really want the parents involved, and that is a huge component to a great educated child, right? To have in Frisco, there are 11 high schools. So I'm highlighting the high schools just to give you a grasp of how large this district is. 11 high schools in Frisco, and they have over 60,000 students, and it's only growing. But the benefit of a large school district is that there are large opportunities, right? Many programs have been created. There are just so many great benefits of a large school district that I wouldn't hesitate enrolling my kids in Frisco ISD whatsoever. Now, Southlake only has 8,300 students in the school district, and they are literally #1 for a good reason. They have a 100% graduation rate and are known for high SAT and ACT scores. Southlake only has 2 high schools. But just because they're a smaller district doesn't mean that they're not on the radar of scouts and colleges. Because they're #1 in Texas, they will remain on all those colleges' radar. All right, so let's get into the stats of Frisco and Southlake, and at the end I'm gonna sum up my thoughts and hopefully help you make a decision, all right? Southlake and Frisco, let's talk about the housing again. The housing, Southlake was growing and booming in the late 90s and early 2000s, and so the median year built of Southlake homes is 1998. Now, let's talk about those builds. Most of the builds in Southlake were custom home builders, good local custom home builders, which makes a good quality build. Most of the homes in Southlake are going to be very unique next to the one down the street. It's not going to be like today's production builder, and most of the builders in Frisco are production builders. You can get custom touches and you can get a custom home, but the majority are really good production builders, which means there's a lot of, many floor plans are very, very similar. Now, Frisco, their median year built was 2006, so they are on the newer side of things, and you can still build in Frisco, Texas. The home price, the median home price for Southlake, Texas is $823,000. That did just recently go up with the whole COVID housing thing. And so to get in Southlake is a higher price point by all means. Now you can get a home for $650,000, just know you're going to have to update it. The median home price for Frisco is $432,000, which means you can buy in Frisco in pretty much any budget. Now for that $823,000, the median square footage for Southlake is 4,181. So 4,181 square feet is the median square footage. So Southlake, they built some pretty good sized large homes. The median size in Frisco is 3,230 square feet. So a little smaller home, but 3,000 square feet is a good size home still. The average days on market, 13 days in Southlake, 20 days in Frisco. Not a lot of difference, but let me say, houses are moving very fast still, and right now we're in September. Okay, so this is the big to-do. In Southlake, the median lot size is 0.48 of an acre. So many homes are on a half-acre lot in Southlake. It's the median, so some are on an acre and some may be a quarter of an acre, but the lot sizes are definitely bigger in Southlake as compared to 0.18 in Frisco. Oh my gosh, when I ran these numbers in the MLS, I was like, oh, 0.18. I think I have 0.18 of an acre on my home. I kind of like a smaller lot, but I know many of you really want a larger backyard, a larger lot, maybe a little more secluded. If that's the case, you may want to go back to Southlake. This is interesting to me. So how many homes sold in the last year for $1 million plus? In Southlake, 140 homes sold for $1 million plus and only 100 in Frisco. So that's interesting to me that even though the population and the amount of housing available in Southlake is much, much smaller, they still have more $1 million homes in Southlake. This is just to give you an idea of what kind of city you're moving to. I have created videos both just on Frisco and as well as Southlake, so you can click the links at the end of this video or in the description below to watch those. Also, I got there's a link for census.gov with the quick facts, demographics, and housing, and all kinds of different nerdy things that if you want to compare the two cities, there's a link below for that. I get a lot of resources there. I love that website, by the way. Here's what I want to share with you. Both cities are fantastic. I want to say they may be the best suburbs in Texas. There's a few more that I've visited recently that I will be sharing in my 30-day tour here with you soon. But really, if you're looking for a hometown with a larger lot size, nice beautiful trees, shopping, restaurants, Southlake is a great pick. If you are wanting more new, fresh feeling and a little more diversity, or maybe you're single, Frisco may be your go-to. But overall, you may not know until you get here. So come down, take a trip, and visit both Southlake and Frisco, and you will know in your gut which is best for you. So what's next, Dana? Well, hey, I am starting a weekly Zoom call because recently I just got a little overwhelmed with all my Zoom calls. And so what I'd like to do is have a weekly Zoom call where you can ask me anything you want. This is a group Zoom call, so there are a limited amount of spaces, and I want to see you there. So click the link below and sign up. It's going to be on Tuesday afternoons. So click that link, and then just for future reference, I really want to provide more content for you, and I will be focusing a little more on video to get content so you can help know, and I want to help you guys narrow down where to live in Texas because it's a big state. It's a great state, but I want to help you narrow down where to live. And I want to say I have fantastic real estate agents on my team that know the areas well. They've been all over and they can help you as well. So fill out, if you were looking to move, fill out the Dream Home questionnaire down below and it will send you a link to schedule a one-on-one consultation calls with one of my amazing agents. And thank you so much for choosing my team, my real estate team, because this helps me to keep providing great content for you. Thanks so much, and watch one of these videos.